Kia ora class, this is video 3 for conceptual design AS91046. We're going to talk about research today. So what is research and how can you relate this back to the assessment schedule? So it's really important that you do research that relates to the specifications that you set for yourself in the previous video. So there must be a link between what guidelines you set for yourself and the research that you find. So if you look at the assessment schedule here, on the achieved side of things, the left-hand column, it says this one here, using stakeholder feedback to inform decision making. So that's really talking about using your research to inform decision making. Now, if you want to get a merit or excellence, you need to go a step further. And it says, this one here says, creating design ideas informed by research and analysis of existing outcomes. So, for example, you find existing products that match your brief and you evaluate each one. Then you use these findings to sketch some ideas. So you're really creating a clear link between the specifications you set, the research, and then your concepts, which you're going to do in the next video. So there's a really clear link between each one of those. That's what merit looks like. Excellence is going a step further, and you're basically you're evaluating the research that you find, and you are creating links to the concepts. So the concepts that you draw are clearly informed by the research, and maybe you're going a step further and talking to outside experts where possible. So if you were designing a coffee table, think about who in the community you could talk to about that. Do you know any experts in your area that you could talk to online about a coffee table design? If you were designing a bike, for instance, you'd probably want to talk to a local bike shop owner about bike design, or someone that races bikes for a living. These would be the type of people you would talk to. That's what excellence is about. So going back to your publisher doc here, so you can see we talked about writing specifications or design guidelines yesterday, and now we need to find research that links back to those. So a great example is again, I'm going to show you Marshall's work here. So if we look at his brief, he wanted it says design specifications. So he wants to make and design something that uses recycled materials. And he also wants it to have a rustic design. And he's got these words durable and proportional. So you can see the research that he's found here meets those criteria. So this design he's found here looks like it's been made from a recycled oil drum. The same with these other two here. And he says he wants it to look rustic. All of these designs look rustic. So his research links directly to his brief. That is what merit is. Now, for each example, you need to do an analysis or a P.I.N research. So for those of you that haven't done that before, the P stands for a positive statement, the I stands for an interesting statement, and the N stands for a negative statement. So you can see he's written a P.I.N statement on each example, and then he's written a little summary below about what he's going to do with this information. So if we just zoom in a little bit here, so his first example, you can see he's talking about this example here. He says one positive is the shape of the table is appealing to me and the aesthetic. So he likes the proportion of this design. An interesting statement, he says it's visually interesting to me, looks different to normal tables. And a negative, he says when you want to put more wood on the fire, you can't lift the top because it will be red hot. So he says he's got a statement about the lid. It's not that functional. You could potentially burn yourself. And he's written a little summary here. This table/barbecue is very visually appealing to me because of its features, and it isn't very functional because of the tabletop. So that's a good analysis of that design. And he's gone ahead and did the same for this design here and this design here. And if we just zip ahead and look at what he did for his concepts, if you look at his concepts, especially on the second page here, you can see that design there is informed by this piece, these examples he's found, like using the oil drum and the stand. You can see his design has an oil drum and a stand made from recycled materials. So his concepts are linked to his research, which are linked back to his brief. So you guys need to think for your research. Probably a good place to look is, instead of just doing a simple Google search, why not try a Pinterest search for whatever thing you're going to design. Maybe talk to some local experts in the area via email or websites. So think about coming up with some more interesting examples of research. If you don't do this, the research part is really important for you guys to get ideas that are new and creative and interesting. If you don't do the research, you're just going to come up with an idea that's already exists. Your goal for a conceptual design is to come up with new ideas that are original and creative and are something new and never been seen before. This is what we're trying to do here. So really give the research part, do it well, and really remember you need to use the PIN structure: positive, interesting, negative, and a summary statement at the end. So that's in the next video we're going to talk about coming up with concepts.